My name is Eric Wycheck. I'm a conservation planner with the Polk County Land and Water Resources Department. One of my responsibilities is administering the Farmland Preservation Program. And the first part of this presentation, I'm going to be working with Tim on this presentation, but the first part of it is going to be a little bit of history about the program. And I also recognize many of you, and for some of you this is going to be review, but I'd like to cover a little bit of the program itself and part of what we're going to be dealing with here. It's the program itself. Farmland preservation is a state program, but this planning process is going to be involving much more than just including the Farmland Preservation Program as written in Chapter 91, the statute, and how the Department of Ag administers it. So with that, the Polk County Farmland Preservation Plan was adopted and certified in 1980. This plan identified areas within the county where agriculture was the predominant land use, and these areas were designated as ag lands to be preserved within that plan. In addition to preserving agricultural lands, the plan also addressed various trends at the time. This was 1979, 1980. A lot has changed since then, but it dealt with trends back then and goals related to conserving natural resources and providing recreational needs, housing, and adequate public service. So those things were also accounted for in that plan. Mapping was an important part of this process, and I've got an example of the very archaic mapping back then, and the white space in this particular map was suitable land for farmland preservation, and the gray or black shading was land to be excluded from farmland preservation. Either it was unproductive ground or it was development. You'll see, around Loveless Lake here and Long Lake, development areas, those were excluded. So obviously there was development there, and we've seen that there's no need to preserve those lands. They were planned for development. In 1986, exclusive agricultural zoning was introduced and amended into our Polk County plan. Exclusive ag zoning was set based on the county farmland preservation plan's recommendation that all parcels over 35 acres must be preservation areas, including forest lands. Only the town of McKinley and Alden at the time had acreage certified as exclusive ag zoning. Then in 2003, because of development pressures and so forth, the value of land, the town of Alden removed most all of its acres in exclusive ag zoning. And then in 2009, elected to remove exclusive ag zoning entirely. So only McKinley remained, and currently that's the case. The town of McKinley is the only town we have in exclusive ag. Incentive for participating in the Farmland Preservation Program for eligible participants, there was a income tax credit, and for that income tax credit, participants needed to agree to meet soil and water conservation compliance requirements as well as other requirements such as farm income requirements, land base requirements, and so forth. The income tax credits received were based on a formula that factored in farm income and real estate taxes as well as other factors. The agreements There are two ways to file for the income tax credit. You could either do it through contract agreements, or if you lived in an area that was zoned for exclusive ag, you could collect through exclusive ag zoning. But agreements were signed to cover land over 10 or 25 years for those not in exclusive ag zoning. And for those in exclusive ag zoning, if they met the requirements, they could file for the credit annually if they met the requirements. So the state operated with this farmland preservation program for nearly 30 years until the Working Lands Initiative in 2009. Enter Working Lands Initiative, part of Act 28, the Budget Act in 2009. And its intent was to overhaul this 30-year-old program. And it requires county planning. They saw that our 30-year-old plans were very outdated, not applicable in this day with these trends we were seeing. So the state required revisions and amendments to those plans. It still allows for farmland preservation zoning, which was exclusive ag zoning. We call it farmland preservation zoning now. It enhances and simplifies the tax credits. Instead of a formula that was confusing and was difficult to understand, a flat rate was introduced. Okay. It also authorizes purchase of ag conservation easements. This is still in the program, but it's largely unfunded. There's a few conservation easements out there within the state of Wisconsin that we're allowed to proceed, but this is largely not an option right now because it's essentially unfunded. The overhaul also authorizes ag enterprise areas, and we have one in Polk County. It's the Squaw Lake Ag Enterprise Area. When we get into this process, for those who want to come along with us on this planning process, we'll discuss ag enterprise areas. But it's questionable as how valuable they are in actually preserving ag land, because they're really no more restrictive than the underlying zoning. So other than being a boundary on the map, basically, they don't slow development. So the Working Lands goals, first and foremost, really to promote sound planning. Second, save critical farmland resources, minimize land use conflicts, promote ag economic development by encouraging agricultural investment and helping farms stay economically viable. It's kind of a repeat, but components of the program are farmland preservation zoning, ag enterprise areas, and purchase of ag conservation easements. For this state program, these are the three components of the program that allow for some sort of incentive. 3 ways to claim. Have an old farmland preservation agreement. See, we still have old agreements out there, quite a few in Polk County. I think there's 40, 45 or so. And with the overhaul of the Working Lands Initiative, these agreements, as I said before, were from 10 to 25 years, so these are allowed to quietly expire. The participants still have the opportunity to receive a credit if they meet the requirements, but our last agreement in Polk County, old agreement, will expire in 2033. So we've got a ways to go, but it's still an opportunity to claim a credit. With the introduction of the Working Lands Initiative, really the only way to have a contract agreement now is to be within an ag enterprise area. So that'd be the second opportunity to claim, and really those within the Squaw Lake Ag Enterprise area are only eligible for that, the agreement and that credit currently. Then those within the exclusive ag or farmland preservation zoning can still file for the credit if they meet the eligibility requirements. And again, as of right now, McKinley is the only town where exclusive ag zoning exists. The tax credit for land that is in farmland preservation zoning is $7.50 an acre, flat rate. For those, and we don't have this, but St. Croix County does. They've got farmland preservation zoning with an ag enterprise area on top of it, if you can visualize that. So with those two designations, their credit is a little bit larger at $10 per acre. And for Polk County, that does not have underlying farmland preservation zoning within the Squaw Lake Ag Enterprise area, their credit is $5 per acre. And again, all those landowners who opt to file for that credit need to meet soil and water conservation compliance requirements. So the state of Wisconsin, with regards to farmland preservation, the program requires all counties to have a current operating farmland preservation plan. And we were approved to use our current 30-year-old plan between when the Working Lands Initiative began till when we had a chance to revise it. And so we're operating under that current plan. And as I said before, the plan is based on 30-year-old development trends and soils information, land cover data, and so forth. So we need to revise this plan to reflect current trends, include updated soils information, include development trends, and include all the modifications to the program Working Lands Initiative. We have, statewide, all counties should have their plan updated by, originally it was 2015. We've gotten extensions based on the budget problems, so they've extended it to 2016. But Polk County, our plan needs to be revised and completed by December 31st, 2013. And with that, I'll hand this over to Tim, and he's going to talk about the plan itself.